Hi friends, welcome to the video. In this video we are going to see how to solve the examples of exercise 14.1 question 3 factorization. Okay, so in the previous video we have already seen question 1 and 2. So let's see how to solve this question 3. Now those of you who have not seen the question 1 and 2 in the first video, I would request you to please see that video also, otherwise it will be little bit difficult for you to understand this question. Okay, so let's see, but I will still try to make it easy for you. So of the first question, x square plus xy plus 8x plus 8y. So this is our first question. Now you can see that there are four terms here. So what you can do, you can separate these four terms into two groups of two terms. So this is the first group of two terms and this is the second group of two terms. Okay. So what I am going to do now, I will write this x square as x into x, this xy as x into y. Similarly, for the third term and fourth term, that is the second group, what is the sign between the two groups? It is positive. So there is a positive sign. And now I am going to write this 8x as 8 into x and plus 8y as 8 into y. So now in the first group we had two terms. What is same in both the two terms here? There is x which I can take common. It is same in both the terms. Okay. So when I take x common, what remains in the bracket is x. Then there is a positive sign and it's y. Now what about the third and fourth term? Do we see anything which is same in both the terms? Yes, it is 8. Now very common mistake which the students make. They write 8 here and they forget to write the sign. That is very important. So what was the sign of the third term? It was positive. So you have to give this sign here. Don't forget. Now what remains in the bracket? What remains is x plus y. So now if you get these two brackets same, then you can consider that your answer is coming to be perfectly fine. You are almost done with the answer now. One last step is remaining. If these two brackets are same, then only, okay. If these two brackets are coming to be different, then you don't go ahead. Just see where you have made the mistake, because these two brackets must be same. Okay. So now if they are same, then write that bracket first, okay, or second, no problem. Write that bracket x plus y, and in the second bracket write the terms which were not in the bracket. The terms which are left, what was left outside the bracket? It was x plus 8. So write that x plus 8 in the second bracket. And what is there between the two brackets? Many students make mistake here also. They give the positive sign here. What is there between the two brackets? It's multiplication. There is no sign between the two brackets. That means there is a multiplication sign. Okay. So see, whether you write the first bracket or the second bracket first, it does not matter. No? See, A into B is same as B into A. So it does not matter, because what happens, many times students see, cross check the answer which is given at the end of the book, and they see that in the answer x plus 8 bracket is written first and x plus y is written second. So sometimes few students may consider that no, their answer is wrong, because in their answer x plus y bracket is first and x plus 8 is second, but there is multiplication in between them, so it does not matter. Okay. So I hope you have understood the question. Let's see how to solve the second question. So now the second question is, sometimes it is quite possible that you might have to rearrange the terms. Sometimes it's possible. Let's see. So second question, 15xy minus 6x plus 5y minus 2. So I am taking first two terms in the first groups and last two terms in the second group. So now I am going to factorize this 15 and 6. So in the first video, when we solved question 1 and 2 of 14.1, we have seen how to factorize this. Okay. So what you do, write the common factors of 15 and 6. That means the numbers which can divide 15 and 6 completely. One can divide any number, right? Then it's 3. 3 can divide both. Now there is no other number which can divide both the terms. So then which is the greatest common factor? 3. So we are going to use the table of 3 here. So it's 3 times of 5, 15, x and y. 3 times of 2, 6, x. Now in the last two terms, you can see between 5 and 2 there is only 1 is the common factor. There is no other number which divides both the terms. So you have to write them as 5 times of 1 with y and 2 as 2 times of 1. So now when we take the first two terms, we have to see what can I take common between in the first two terms. What is it that is common in both? So it is 3 and 1x. So if I take 3x common, what remains in the bracket is, what remains? There is a negative sign, and what is there before the negative sign? It is 5y. And what is there after the negative sign? It is 2. Many students, what they do, they write this as 2 minus 5y. This is not the same. 5y minus 2 is not the same as 2 minus 5y. Okay, so don't make that mistake. Then, when we take common from the last two terms, what is there same in the last two terms? It's 1 only. Again, the common mistake, students write 1 but forget to write the sign of the third term. Okay. So when we take 1 common, what remains in the bracket? There is a negative sign, and what is there before the negative sign? 5y, and after the negative sign this is 2. And now, as I told you in the last question also, if these two brackets are same, then consider that your answer is going to be correct. Now what you have to do, just write that bracket and write the terms which are outside in the next bracket. So which were the terms which were outside? 3x plus 1. Write that in the second bracket. So this is your final answer, friends. So let's move on to solve the next question. Yes, so question number 3. So question 3 is AX. Now this is a little bit different. Okay, please pay proper attention to this. So first two terms, last two terms. So AX I will write as A into X plus BX as B into X and minus AY as A into Y minus BY as B into Y. So this is easy. So what can I take common from the first two terms? We can take x common. So if I take x common, what will remain inside the bracket? Okay, what remains is A plus B. Now, what happens in the last two terms? What is it that I can take common? What is there same in both the terms? It's y. Again, a common mistake, students, what they do? They only write y, forget to write this sign. Always remember. Okay. Now, what remains in the bracket? This is the very important step. This is where 99% of students are going to make mistake. Okay. So what they do is they write this as A minus B. And now you see the two brackets are not same. So we are going to get the answer wrong. As I told you previously also, these two brackets must be same. So we will say the terms are the same. AB, only difference is first bracket has positive, second has negative. So do one magic I will tell you. Just give the sign whatever it is in the first bracket. Do the magic and give the same sign. If only the problem is with the sign, then give the same sign in the second bracket. Do this magic. Because these two brackets have to be same. Okay, so if the first bracket is having negative, then give the negative sign in the second bracket. If the terms are same, I am talking only about if the difference is in the sign, then what you do, give the sign of the whatever sign is there in the first bracket, give that sign in the second bracket. Now you will say, sir, this is not magic, this is math. But yes, it is math. But why we are doing this magic is important thing. When we take this negative common here in the third term, what was the sign to the third term? Negative. So we have taken minus common. So whenever we take minus common, we have to change the sign of all the terms in the bracket. So see, I am going to do this step again. Okay, I am going to do this step again. So it was minus ay minus by. Now what we did? We took minus y common. So I just told you that if we take minus common, we have to change the sign of all the terms which are going to be there in the bracket. So what was the sign of this a? It was negative, so you write it as positive. Okay, even if you don't give positive, it's okay, it is going to be positive only. So you can write it as a only. And this minus b also must change to plus b. This you will have to remember. If you take negative common, change the sign of all the terms in the bracket. Either you remember this, or just remember a simple magic trick that whatever sign is there in the first bracket, give it in the second bracket, and you will definitely get the answer correct. Okay, so now as these two brackets are same, write them in one bracket and write the terms which are left outside in the second bracket. So x minus y goes in the second bracket. So this is our final answer, friends. You can take the screenshot. So let's move on to solve the fourth question. Now it is also a little bit different. What is different? See, it's 15pq plus 15 plus 9q plus 25p. Till now what we did, we took first two terms, took something common, last two terms took something common. Okay, we will be doing the same thing here, and let's see whether we get the correct answer now. So 15 and 15 it is, so we don't need to factorize, we have the same number, right? 15. So 15 into p into q, and I will write this as 15 times of 1. So first term, second term. What is it that I can take common from both? It's 15. So if I take 15 common, then what remains in the bracket will be pq plus 1. Now what students make a mistake is they take 15 common and they give the bracket as it is, pq. Nothing is left in the second term. They don't write that plus 1. They forget that if it was 15, then it was 15 times of 1. So 1 remains here. You have to write that plus 1. Now, in the third and fourth term, you cannot have anything common. 9 and 25, they are divisible by only 1. They are not divisible, both of them are not divisible by any same number. See, 3 can divide 9 but cannot divide 25. 5 can divide 25 but not 3. So 1 is the only number which can divide both. So I can write this as 9 times of 1 with q and 25 as also 25 times of 1 with p. Then what is it that I can take common from the last two terms? It's only 1. So if I take 1 common, what is the sign to the third term? Plus. So if I take plus 1 common, what remains is 9q. What remains is 9q plus 25p. So you can see the first two brackets, these two brackets are not same at all. So that's why I said this is a different kind of question. We cannot solve it like this. So then what do we have to do? We have to rearrange the terms. Okay, and then we will get the answer correct by doing this method only. But first we have to rearrange. Then how to identify? I told you just before beginning the question that this is a different type of question. So how did I know that this is a different type of question? No? So just observe the numbers. Okay, observe the numbers in the first two terms, they are same. Okay, and in the last two numbers you can see the third is smaller and the fourth is greater. So then how is it going? How will we get the two brackets same? If the first two terms here are same and in the last two terms third one is smaller and fourth one is greater, then we cannot get the two brackets same. So now what I am going to do, we will have to rearrange the terms. Okay. So what I am going to do, I am going to write this as 15pq plus I am not going to change the sign of any term. Okay. Then I have written this 9q here, and then what I do, I take this 15 here and then I write this 25p here. I have not changed the sign. I have changed the position of these two terms. Okay. You can do it differently also. Okay. For example, what you can do it like this. Write this plus 25p here and take this 15 here, and you will still get the answer correct. No problem. Okay. You will still get it. So let's see now how we can do it. I will erase this and write the question again. Okay. So it was 15pq plus 15 plus 9q plus 25. So what I am going to do, I am going to interchange the places of these two. Okay. 15pq plus 9q plus 15 plus 25p. We have not changed the signs. Now 15 and 9, they are divisible by 1 and 3. Okay. So take the largest number, use that table. So for 15 I am going to write 3 times of 5 and then p and q. For 9 I am going to do it as 3 times of 3 and then q. So these are the first two terms. For 15 and 25, they are divisible by 1 and 5. So take the greatest number, 5, use that table. So 5 times of 3 is 15 and 5 times of 5 is 25, and with p will remain as it is. So now what can I take common from the first two terms? I can take 3 and q common. So if I take 3 and q common, what remains in the bracket is 5p plus 3 only. And then what about the last two terms? What can I take common from the last two terms? I can take only 5 with the sign plus. Then what remains in the bracket? Are we getting the same bracket this time? It's 3 plus 5p. Is it the same or not? 3 plus 5 is same as 5 plus 3 or not? Yes, you know that it's a commutative property. You can add in any manner, the answer is going to be the same. So no problem with this. So you can, in the next step, what you can do, if you want, you can just change the position. Okay, you can write this 3 plus 5p as 5 plus 3 if you want. So now you have the same two brackets here. So this is the correct answer. Write that bracket, and in the second bracket write the terms which were outside 3q plus 5. So this is your final answer. I hope you are getting what we are doing here. So let's move on to do the last question now. So friends, we are into the last question of 14.1 question 3. So let's see how to solve this. Z minus 7, please pardon my Z and 2 both look very similar. I try to write them differently, but there is no 2 here in this question. Okay, so if you think there is 2, so then assume that it's Z only. Okay, so now in the first two terms Z and 7, what is the coefficient of this Z here? It's nothing there, that means it's 1. So there is nothing I can take common. So one number was 1 and the other was 7. What is common? Both can be divided by only 1. So I am going to write this as 1 into Z and 7 as 7 into 1. What about the last two? What is the coefficient of this x, y, z? Nothing, again 1. So I am going to write this as 7xy minus 1 into x into y into z. So what can I take common in the first two terms? I can take only 1 common. So if I take 1 common, what remains in the bracket? is z minus 7. So now for the last two terms, what is it that I can take common now in the last two terms? It is x and y also. So I can take xy common. Don't forget to give the sign. If I take xy common, then what remains in the bracket is 7 minus z. Then just check, are these two same? Now many students will say yes, but it is not, right? See, 3 minus 5 and 5 minus 3, they are not same. 5 minus 3 is 2, 3 minus 5 is, what is it? Minus 2, they are not same. So then, what do we have to do? We have to make them same, otherwise our answer is not going to be correct. We need to get the two brackets same. So now we just need to do this as z minus 7, right? So for that, just do one more magic. Change the sign of this xy. Change this sign. If it is plus, make it minus. If it is minus, make it plus here. Okay, just change the sign. That's it. If you change the sign, you can just interchange their places now. Because what will happen, see, if you open the bracket now, see, I am writing this term, okay, minus xy multiplied by z minus 7. Okay, if you open the bracket, what is there between this minus xy and the bracket? Multiplication. When you multiply by a negative term, you have to change the sign of each term in the bracket. It was positive z, so it will become minus zxy, that is xyz. And this minus will become plus 7 into xy is 7xy. So see, actually we have just changed the way of writing it. We have not changed the question. See, what was the question here? It was same, 7xy is plus and xyz is minus. So just change the sign of this xy. If it is plus, then make it minus, and then you can change that 7 minus z to z minus 7. And now as you have these two brackets same, write them once, and in the other bracket, write the terms which were outside, that is 1 minus xy. So this is your final answer. In the previous video, we have seen how to solve question 1 and 2 of exercise 14.1. In this video, we saw how to solve question 3, factorize. If you like the method, please subscribe to the channel and share with your friends also. See you in the next video. Take care. Bye bye.